With that, I'll hand over to Glenn.
Thanks, Adam. Well, Glenn and Alex. Yeah, this is so uncomfortable. When Dave started coughing, I thought, he's had a heart attack. I think I could get out of sharing. And then he stopped, and he's all right. Yeah, that's how much I don't like sharing. Yeah, I get a bit done in with all this stuff. Just insecurities, what to say, how to say. I've got a head full of information that doesn't come out very well sometimes. You know, I get confused. I don't know how to say it. You know, there's loads of half the reading. When I don't even just share. You've just heard step one. Do you know what I mean? Sort it out between yourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of what it is in a nutshell, really, isn't it? Yeah. I just get done by it all. And then, you know, Ian has really good shares, come with loads of years, and they're really confident. They sound really good. I've listened to them on so I'm not here everywhere. I listen to them on YouTube. You know, I think, yeah, they're really great shares. And then he's fucking asked me to share. And I think, why have you asked me? It's that lack of confidence. You know, inferior complex that, you know, I have and don't have. I kind of go over a lot of stuff. It's the fear of being judged and stuff like that. And that's funny because I'm powerless over other people. I'm powerless over being judged. Do you know what I mean? I judge, so why don't anybody else judge? Do you know what I mean? Everybody judges. It's just the way it is. And then the fear of being stupid, not knowing what I'm saying, fear of getting it wrong, fear of something, forgetting things, which I do. Like I said, I've got a head full of information that I struggle to process and then get it all out. And then looking at me, everyone's looking at me, just sort of paranoia hits me. I'm self-obsessed. You know, I want to be sitting in the back and sharing if I want to share or not. I'm not if I don't want to share. And the funny thing is about sharing, public sharing, you know, is just probably one of the biggest things that's helped me in NA. You know, obviously along with the steps, because I started doing myself, but, you know, I just have a deep fear of, you know, the way I stand, the way I talk to people, how I interact. But sharing I've been here 20 years, and sharing over all that time, I kind of lost my obsession about people. I don't fucking care as much. I just share. It's like, and being honest, I just share the stuff, you know, and it's helped me probably just as much as the steps have helped me. And every time I do a meeting and I don't share, I feel shit. Do you know what I mean? But when I do share, I feel part of the meeting. I feel great. Do you know what I mean? So it's really odd. But then pressure of being, you know, 20 fucking minutes sharing, do you know what I mean, about a step, and it's bad enough when it's experience, strength and hope, and that's just about your story, you know, and you come along, you have to share about a step that I'm supposed to know about because I've been doing this 20 years, do you know what I mean, you know, and the truth of the matter is, I'm not particularly educated, I'm not thick. I left school at 15, didn't take any exams, the school people would give a shit, I just left and they was like, goodbye, do you know what I mean, a naughty kid. So every job I've ever had in my life, I've never written a CV, I've never had to write anything, you know, even in recovery, a lot of people go down either, you know, substance, people get into that, or they use computers. Well, I never had to do none of that. I'm physical, I work physically, I work for myself, so I never had to do any writing in my life apart from this stuff, do you know what I mean? And this stuff is just, it made me laugh when it said about, you know, we didn't stumble in here full of whatever it was, love, blah, 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 what is it? You know, I come in here, like I said, about 21 years ago. I had a fucking beanie hat, it was winter, and I just wanted to not be noticed. I'm 6'4", and I, you know, all my life I don't want to be noticed. I want people to stop looking at me, leave me alone. And I walked in, I had a gravelly voice because I just smoked so much crack. So I just had a really gravelly voice, and just sat in the corner, and then you got all these people coming, oh, I'm this and I'm that. I think, fucking whoa, do you know what I mean? You get a bit overwhelmed with it, you know. I didn't want to be known. I didn't talk, I didn't share for about a month, 6 weeks. Do you know what I mean? I didn't say anything, you know. I got to know people, got used to some of the language, because some of this stuff, you know, powerless, unmanageability, I haven't got a fucking clue what any of that meant back then. Obviously I know what it means, but actually realising what it means is, you know, I'll come into NA because I have a drug problem, I have a me problem. I fucking took a lot of drugs, and it said about, and all I heard in the first few meetings was the alcohol thing at the bottom, how it worked. Alcohol is a drug. I thought, you're having a fucking laugh. Alcohol is not a drug, you know, it's a social thing that everybody does, do you know what I mean? So my expectations of just coming here, because I was fucked, was to sort out the drug problem and then continue drinking, having a life down the pub with the lads, being, you know, that kind of thing. You know, and some of my worst times using was in that about 18 months of coming to NA, because I didn't get it, I didn't get clean, I wasn't changing my lifestyle, and I was going to sort of get a few months sometimes, I'd go back down the pub, do you know what I mean? And I think I'll drink a Coke, be alright, I'll drink a Coca-Cola, it'd be fine. Of course, you know, within about half an hour I'm drinking a pint of lager, you know, and then a pint of lager leads into my drug of choice. It started off with cocaine, and then it went into crack in the end, which is not a particularly sociable drug, do you know what I mean? I just want to sit at home and, you know, that was the drug of choice. You know, alcohol for me was just a good gateway. I'm not, you know, I never really kicked the arse at alcohol. I didn't really like weed and all that kind of stuff as I started, as I took all these drugs, you know, to see, and then, you know, uppers suited me, you know, speed, that kind of stuff. That's what I loved. I loved it. But even though I'm quite an introvert, do you know what I mean? I think must be inside I must be an extrovert. As soon as I took that, it completely changed me, do you know what I mean? To a confident person, and then look at me, everyone, do you know what I mean? So the nose is running, so I'm not taking any drugs today, you're right. The thing is about cocaine, it fucks your nose up completely. It really does. Years of not doing it, it still fucks you up. So yeah, I just, you know, lost my thread now. But yeah, so the powerlessness and all that kind of stuff, I didn't understand. I was completely ruined. It says it in there, completely ruined my life. So I wasn't a part-time user in the end. My life never got, I didn't use a few days and then get manageable. I just used, do you know what I mean? Cocaine and crack. I was in that world of people where you know, you're involved with drugs, so you get drugs for free, and then you have to get profits, and you do all the profits, and you owe people money. I was in that kind of world, so that's how I sustained a cocaine and crack addiction. So like I said, so I never really got clean. I was always, you know, so everybody close to me that wasn't an addict or wasn't in that world, you know, even some of my friends who was in that world just left me. You're too much, do you know what I mean? You're going to die. And you're just reckless, you know. You know, any partners that I was with, the kids, you know, apart from one child that unfortunately still lived with me, you know, she's in the rooms now. Surprise, surprise. Kind of left. Anybody good in my life just walked away from me. I was a very, very angry person and blamed everybody else. Everybody else's fault bar mine. It wasn't me. I didn't see the change. I get glimpses of it, but I didn't see it. All I wanted to do is, in the end, I was scared. It completely fucked my body up. You know, I couldn't walk properly. I don't want to go into horror stories, but you know, I knew that I was fucked. Do you know what I mean? And somehow I found this place. I come into this place, and then you know, you hit with all these words: powerlessness, unmanageability, and I still consider. And my idea of an addict, admitting that I'm an addict, you know, I struggled with that stuff because my idea of an addict was someone sticking needles in their arm on a park bench. That was my idea of an addict. You know, I was a refined crackhead, cocaine head, crackhead. You know, so it was, you know, I'm not like these addict people or a wino, a drunk on a park bench. That was my perception of a drunk. Even though my whole life had fallen apart, my whole life, everything about my life had fallen apart. I've been in the hospital for epileptic fits. Where, you know, doing drugs, you know, it's pretty fucking obvious that it's all gone wrong. But even then, I didn't admit. And then it took me 18 months to start doing this stuff. I did lots of, you know, writing about who is an addict, what is NA, why am I here. And I started off with all that stuff before I even got to step one, do you know what I mean? And then getting to step one, I've done 4 step ones in the time I've been here. And I can't remember any fucking one of them. Within a month to 6 weeks of doing this stuff, I've forgotten about it. You know what I mean? I've literally gone out of my head. And I'm back to fucking acting like the way I act, do you know what I mean? Which is all down to, I suppose, childhood traumas or whatever we grew up like, do you know what I mean? My house was chaotic, domestic violence, violence against us, you know, and I struggled with some of that stuff as well, because I don't know, it was 70s and 80s when I grew up, and I suppose, a long time ago now. I don't know if that was domestic violence or kids, well, it's just what it was like back then, do you know what I mean? You know, it was what it was like, because you would not treat your kids now what we got treated as kids back then. Do you know what I mean? You'd be nicked. Do you know what I mean? But so I struggled with, was I abused physically, or was it just part of fucking growing up? I don't know. But all it made me scared. I was a very frightened introvert child, and it made me withdrawn. Do you know what I mean? Because I was scared. You know, big dad murdered someone. He was a violent, scary man. My mum's choice of men was just mental. This big old Geordie bloke who was violent, drunk. You know, and then she met some what I perceive as melts. Do you know what I mean? It was like quite strange, but that's her choice. That's her choice. That's her choice of men. Do you know what I mean? I don't fucking know. But obviously, that kind of, I didn't know that now. But knowing a bit about it, I suppose that shaped my life. Do you know what I mean? And set me on a fucking. So when I found drugs, it was like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? It brought me out myself rather than in myself. But drugs are quite powerful. Obviously, I'm an addictive personality, and they get hold of me because I want to do them all the time. But so I forgot. I've lost my fucking thread again. So just starting step one. It's obvious that when I finally something big happened in my life, it doesn't really matter. I don't go into it. I've said it 1,000 times. And then I thought, right, what the fuck do I do? I had a sponsor. I said, for fuck's sake, I don't care why I'm an addict. I don't care what's going on. I just want it to stop. So I can't stand this anymore. I was even getting drugs and doing them. I was giving them some ringing my brother and say, fucking come and take the drugs away from me. Get them the fucked. Do you know what I mean? So I said, what we've got to do? He said, stop when you're ready then. Just start with step one. Do you know what I mean? Read this stuff and just write about it. And the denial, obviously, to me, it's about honesty. It's, self-honesty is step one, because I'm in denial for years and years and years, and then I come in and say, yeah, I'm an addict. Like I said, everyone was a heroin addict when I first come in. It's changed now. Then you've got all the cokeheads, then now I think it's ketamine or whatever it is. It changes with the years, So I struggled in the early days admitting that I'm an addict, and then obviously keep relapsing, and life is fuck. You kind of think, yeah, I might be an addict, So, and I'm powerless. Just like I'm powerless over my thinking, I'm not powerless over my actions, even though I struggle with my actions over my feelings. So I just started the process of trying to learn about this stuff, and I struggled, like I said, writing this stuff down. It's like, you give me a pen and a piece of paper and a load of words to write, I'm thinking I will do anything rather than write the fucking words down. I think anything. It's like something happens when I put that fucking pen in my hand. But enough pain and you'll fucking do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was just about learning about this stuff. Like I said, I've done 4 step ones. And it's learning about, being, obsession, compulsion, starting with fucking how it starts, you know what I mean? Denial, honesty, reservations. I had loads of reservations, like I first said. I had loads of reservations about, I just want to get my life back on track, and then I want to be able to drink again, go to work and do the rest of it. Fuck me, is that all I've said? So I got clean, do you know what I mean, by just admitting this stuff and looking at my unmanageability. Do you know what I mean? It was a really funny thing. I don't even, unmanageability. What does it fucking mean? Do you know what I mean? Every time I use drugs, and I'll get to the rest of it. That's like I've said this the other day. It's the entry point. Unmanageability and powerlessness is the start of what you see as unmanageable. I've got no control over most things in my fucking life, even though I want to fucking control them. I can't, you know what I mean? Women, wife, hello, she's at the back there. Children, work people, customers, anybody in my life, I want to control it. And the self-obsession and all that self stuff, I just think the world revolves around me. I think there's nobody else has the feelings in the world. I'm the only one. I think of myself far too much. I'm living my own fucking head for far too long. And drugs fucking escalate that, because you live in your head even more. It's like I'm fucking James Bond one day, I'm this the other day, I'm something else this day, because I'm on drugs. Do you know what I mean? It's not fucking reality. In reality, life without drugs ain't fucking easy. I'm left with fucking me. Steve shared it the other week. Life without drugs isn't fucking easy, after a lifetime of using drugs. I fucking had a house that all got taken away. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't paying. We didn't get taken. That's a lie. I exaggerate sometimes. I didn't pay any bills for about 18 months. Do you know what I mean? And it was going to get repossessed. Luckily, I just sold it. I wasn't washing. I didn't eat properly. Do you know what I mean? Usually I'd wear designer clothes and all that when I'm out. Back then. Got to Stone Island and all that, but I wasn't even washing. Do you know what I mean? I got to Stone Island to go and pick some drugs up and then go home and not wash for a week. Do you know what I mean? It's just fucking insane. We're keeping up images. And that's so clearly unusability, back then, But until you actually clearly see it and read about this stuff, it's like, you're not gonna realise it. I can't fix my head with my head. Do you know what I mean? I have to fix my head with this stuff and other people. And it's about asking for help. Step one is about asking for help, admitting that I'm an addict and reaching out and asking for help. And that's you'll get that help in these meetings, 100%. I go in and out of liking, loving this stuff, and the people, no offence everyone, I get irate sometimes, I'll come to some of that story in a minute, but I don't know what I would be without this, I don't know what would have happened 20 years ago if I didn't walk in this room of Narcotics Anonymous. My life is, even though I've had a few slips over the years, I wouldn't change all of this stuff that's happened in my life for anything, I've done so much, so many dreams that I've wanted for myself, I've achieved, I've done, do you know what I mean? And I'm not you, and you're not me, you've got your own stuff, your own dreams you want to do, and you can do them, by coming here, doing shares, talking about stuff, and being honest, I grew up, like I said, but most of us men, we grow up with egos, we want to beat everybody out and fight, I know him, I've done this, I've done that. Cheers, mate. Oh, fuck me, that's really quick. So this stuff's about honesty, I'm just being a bit vulnerable, and I don't like being vulnerable, because I think people are going to mug me off, you know what I mean? I think, are you mugging off, and it doesn't, they're mugging themselves off. If someone wants to talk to me, that's up to them. So I can't control anybody, and I've done this stuff for 20 years, right? 20 fucking years I've been doing this stuff. I get in a car, right, and it's one of my biggest bugbears in my fucking life is driving, right? Right, it doesn't matter if it's a traffic jam, if it's a traffic light, if it's a fucking push bike, a tractor, someone in the fast lane that should be in the slow lane, and someone didn't indicate, someone took the corner too slow. It fucking drives me around a bend, do you know what I mean? And what happens is, most of the time I get irate, I'll bid, go like that, call them wankers or whatever I do, and all it does is make my life unmanageable, do you know what I mean? Because I'm completely and utterly powerless over these people, do you know what I mean? And myself, I drive like a twat sometimes, do you know what I mean? I'm powerless over it, and my life just becomes unmanageable because I'm thinking about that incident 3 days later because I'm still fucking irate about it. Do you know what I mean? I've nearly got out of cars. I have got out of car once, 2 blokes in the car, and luckily they drove off because I probably would have been beaten up. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm so fucking irate. You know, and I'm starting to remember this stuff as I go along. And the weather, I work outside. I'm a window cleaner and I work outside for myself, and when it rains, I'm the biggest fucking irate person you could ever wish to meet. I'm up and down the windows, are going to stop yet? So I'm just accepting that it's fucking raining. And I'm swearing at God, I don't even believe in God. I'm fucking, what are you fucking doing, mate? Do you know, you're making it rain, I've got work to do. And I've got absolutely zero, that's the truth. I've got absolutely zero control over the weather, over everybody else. I've got no control over it. Which is fine. It's okay for being irate with someone who's driven like a twat. It's okay to be irate about it. But it doesn't. You don't have to make your life manageable because of it. Do you know what I mean? That's the fucking difference. You can say, yeah, wanker, and have done with it and forget about it. But I'm thinking about it days later. I'm literally thinking about it. So yeah, and one of the best things I liked about the step one. They say there's no hope in step one. It's just about an admission about your addiction, and I'm an addict and I'm unmanageable and all the rest of that kind of stuff, denial and honesty, and I think it's fucking massive hope, especially at the end when it said, it used to be my favourite quote and I'm going to forget it now, it's not where we were that counts but where we are going. I used to love that saying, because it's the beginning of it all, do you know what I mean? And you're learning about, I'd hide behind everybody, all the lads, I'd hide behind them, do you know what I mean? The missus or whatever, hide behind her. I want everybody to make decisions for me. I want to be in the background. I want them to take responsibility, do you know what I mean? And this stuff will teach you spiritual principles and how to be a leader in your own lifetime, do you know what I mean? It will teach you to take responsibility. It will teach you to be, just to move forward. Stop hiding behind people. Just be yourself, not everyone's going to like me, that's okay. I'm not here to please everybody, do you know what I mean? That's not why I'm here. I'm here to be for myself, do you know what I mean? And if I can help someone as my journey progresses, I will help someone. I'm not here to be liked by everybody. I'm not here to piss anybody off, so I probably have done over the years, do you know what I mean? And I don't want to, it's not why I'm here. So yeah, if you're new, it's a journey, and it's a journey. I'll just say, when you stop doing it, I had 12 years clean time, and I know I'm powerless other drugs, I know what they do, and I left NA because of what I've said. People pissed me off, people were boiling kettles when the meat was going, I was offering biscuits out, and people, it was driving me fucking round the bend, and how you stop that is by conscience. right? And I did try and take it by country, but people just kept fucking doing it. In the end, I said, fuck, that's all he had to do anyway, so I said, fuck this, and left. You know, you're all a bunch of wankers, I'm going. And then I went to a wedding and someone offered me a pint of lager. It wasn't on me, I wasn't obsessed. You know, I thought, I was 50 years of age at the time, and I thought, why not? Sounds like a good idea. Do you know what I mean? It's both of us, do you know what I mean? And I had a drink. And it didn't start, it started the process just bit me. The next weekend I went, oh, should we get a couple of cans in? And then the book died, and that's when the obsession started there, and the compulsion, and then the anger, the rows, the unmanageability, the sneaking around, the hiding things, all that shit comes back, you know. And I didn't want to come back, trust me. I thought, oh my God, I had 12 years clean, I've got to come back and really put my hands up and just say, I need help again, do you know what I mean? And everybody goes, you shoot your twat, come and sit down again, do you know what I mean? Because no one's going to kick you out, do you know what I mean? People are welcoming and loving in these rooms, and they'll just get on with it. So I've waffled on. It's done.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Nice one, Glenn.